a real fight. So I do think that Boots against Virgil is one of the best fights in boxing, to be honest with you. So yeah, I think whatever's next will be a very solid fight for Boots.
Eddie, Boots is the WBA Super Champion at 147 pounds. Is it possible for him to petition to face the champion at 154, which would be Terrence Crawford, maybe after Canelo Alvarez fight?
Yeah, I think Terrence is done at 54 now with the belts. Apparently, I think there's an interim champion from Cuba at 154 with the WBA. There is that option, but he's not made a final decision yet. That will come in the next week or so, and you'll hear it from him officially, and then we'll make our move for the next fight. But obviously, when he moves up, he wants us to get him in a position as soon as possible to fight for the world title.
Hey Eddie, Perry Silk, Pix 11 Sports. When I spoke to Rich last week, he said this was something he wanted to do to bring big-time boxing back to New York. Do you feel like this was a good step in that direction? What's your assessment of tonight? And do you have any more plans to do more here?
Yeah, I think that this is, I mean, it's, from a business perspective, it's a brutal financial experience coming to New York, right? The hotels, although the venue is incredible, it's not cheap, you know, so financially you're a lot better off going elsewhere to maybe a place without the union issues and so forth. But there's nothing like being in New York at a venue like this, and this is one of the best places in the world. It's the Mecca of boxing, and if you want to make a statement, you come here. So I felt like that's what we wanted to deliver for Richie, and I feel like he gave us the performance to go with it. So, you know, whether Hitchens fights back here again, we will always be at Madison Square Garden. We'll actually be here at the end of June for the darts. Make sure you watch that. And obviously, Katie Taylor's here July the 11th. So this is, you know, if you want to make a statement, if you really want to put someone on the platform, Madison Square Garden is an incredible place to do it.
Hey, what surprised you the most, or what did you take kind of maybe the most about Richard Richardson's performance?
Just the accuracy and the timing and the way he went through the gears. I think if you look back to the Zepeda fight and fights like that, he didn't go through the gears, but that just comes with experience and confidence. So, you know, dominate for 5-6 rounds and then put your foot on the gas and then get him out of there. That's what people want to see. They don't want to see you dominate for 12 rounds in the same pattern. I think that was great for him tonight.
Eddie, Johnny Boy boxing and fight, right? Amanda Taylor, Katie and Amanda, what do you think about that fight? The two other fights were so close. What's going to change in this third fight?
Nothing. It's going to be another great fight. It's going to be another close fight. Those two fighting, it'll always be 6-4, 5-5, maybe 7-3, and it will be the same this time. You know, I feel like Katie won the first fight, not clearly, but you know, thought the second fight was very close. I had it 6-4, and this is going to be the same kind of fight, 5-5, 6-4. Those three. But it's very unusual to get a trilogy when it's 2-0, right? I mean, we saw it with Canelo. Well, that was a draw in the first fight, right? So, but tell me other big fight trilogies where it's 2-0. It's quite unusual, but that's because it's a great fight, and it'll be a great fight again.
Yeah, Eddie, you spoke earlier about rival season and getting involved in rival season, Turkey Al-Sheikh. For a fighter like Richardson Hitchens, what's the best way you think for him to put himself on the radar where he can get involved in some of those fights?
Tonight, really. I think exactly tonight. You know, that's why we invested in coming to Madison Square Garden. That's why we invested in coming to, bringing George Kambosos, a big name opponent, because we felt like it's a fight that would suit his style, and if he could put a special performance together, he'd raise his stock on the night, and I think that's what happened tonight, you know. Richie was out of the game 2 years ago, out of the game. Like Mayweather Promotions just kind of left him on the side. He had no profile, no contract, no activity. We boxed him here. He headlined in Orlando. He headlined in Las Vegas. And now he headlined in Puerto Rico. We got him a fight for the world title. And now he headlined at Madison Square Garden. So really, like, it's been an incredible run with him over the last 2 years. Definitely not me. Frank didn't run it. I'm ill, and I said I'm not running it. Then Frank swerved it, and I ended up running it. Huh? Who, Frank?
You got a headache?
I got a bad cold. Man flu. Man flu. Josh Kelly. Yeah, Josh is a great fighter. You know, we used to represent him. Obviously, had a great win against Ishmael Davis and fought the other night. I don't know if he's going to get a world title shot. Is it 154? Is it 160? But Josh, very talented fighter. Boots is. Do you know? I think Boots will fight for all the championship belts at 154. I also think he'll move to 160 as well in time. I mean, when I had a chat with him about 147, I think he feels like he's fighting, even as Stanioni's fight, I think he feels like he's at about 50% of his capabilities because of the weight. And I think you're going to see something frightening at 154. At 154. Well, the last man standing will be Jaron Ennis. I mean, but I mean, the last man standing at 54, you've got Fundora or Zoo. With all due respect to Zoo and Fundora, Boots would eat those guys alive. Now, tough fight is Musalayev. I mean, you saw what he did to Tim Zoo. He's a bit of a bogeyman at 54. You know, but who else at 54? You know, I think the toughest fight for Boots potentially, and probably the best fight in the division, is Virgil Ortiz, and that's not even for a title. So the fight that Boots really wants is Terence Crawford, and for me, that is. I think Canelo Crawford's a great fight, but Boots Crawford, now that's an unbelievable fight. Probably not, because Crawford's what, 38, 37, and I think win or lose. Who knows? But it's up to you, yeah.
And to reiterate again, you trade your hands.
It's the same chair as well.
Not even a mark on your face.
Rich here, Chris with Boxing with Chris. Capturing the championship in Puerto Rico, you showed the emotion of how much it meant to you. How much did this mean to you? Did it overshadow that win in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, honestly, this was the, moment I was waiting for, to come home and New York and headline. But I wanted to do that as a world champion, and I felt like it was going to be bigger for the city. The New York had a lot of big boxing fights in the past years, but New York haven't had their own chair on the world championship fight since. So I think Danny Jacobs probably was fighting years ago, so I always like to be the guy to bring back the championship to the city and just give New York that feeling of cheering on their own. So it felt great.
Richardson, okay. You had the win. It's ironic because I had asked you back in Puerto Rico about your debut in Brooklyn. You came back here with Eddie, and I asked you about, you being inactive and coming here and the activity picking up, and pick your win up in Puerto Rico, you get your championship. And now you're here, and it kind of just seems like everything just really comes full circle because not only do you win in front of your home crowd, but you get a stoppage. Just talk about the preparation and how you feel in this moment right now.
Preparation is just a lot more mental and physical. Just, like I've been saying, I got comfortable with the big fights, the anticipation, seeing my opponents, hearing what the media got to say, just that whole feeling is a different feeling. Just, you come fight week, the day before weigh-in or something, you see your opponent in weigh-ins and you go fight. So just getting used to that psychologically and knowing like, oh yeah, I know what I'm gonna do to this guy, and
just believing that I got another gear, and today I've reached that other gear where it's like I'm gonna take him out and I set it the whole build up to the fight, and I just didn't want to go out there and just box. So yeah, that was just really what it was, just preparing mentally more than physically.
Hitchens, those from Final. Congratulations first off on the victory tonight. Your first title defense, you got George Kambosos out the way, and you did it in great fashion. When I interviewed you at Gleason's, you told me that you wanted to leave him a bloody mess. Now, you might have not let him a bloody mess, but you were able to get him out of there. How real is the Devin Haney fight now?
He's saying move up to 147, so right now I got a lot of opportunities right now, as far as being able to go up to 147, so hopefully he'll, give me the opportunity, because he's still the guy, and obviously at 140. So the opportunity is definitely real. I think that fight, the people want to see me and Devin Haney, me and Teofimo. I've been saying for a long time now, they're gonna have to put my name in this conversation. You feel me? Because if you want to see superb boxing, you gotta put me in that conversation with Devin Haney, the Ryan Garcia, the Teofimo. I've been telling y'all for the longest, I'm just as good as these guys, even better. Eddie been telling y'all, my manager been telling y'all, my team, my coaches, everybody been telling y'all, but I guess it took for that for y'all want to listen to and hear us now.
Richardson, Kevin Garcia, aka the Puerto Rican KKG. I asked you a little while ago, how did you feel about, Bill Haney being here, Teofimo getting in the ring? Just a year ago, they were saying you didn't have the power, you didn't bring the fight to people. Now you're the champion, you've defended that championship, and you've got people here scouting you. What's the year been like for you, and just to turn around with now people calling you out?
Yeah, just last year, I was leaving London last year, July. I was on Twitter going back and forth with George Kambosos actually. He was like, you'll never be world champion, you're only gonna fight in front of 300-400 people. And how ironic is it to defend my world championship against him in New York in a arena that I think we did a great, event. A lot of people came out, the city came out, and it was just dope, in 1 year that it was a full circle. But I always knew I was gonna get hit. I knew when my opportunity came, I couldn't let it slip away, and I just, tonight stood composed, took my time and just had fun in it.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
I wanted to know, which fight would be more satisfying for you to get? Would it be Haney or would it be Teofimo Lopez?
Teofimo Lopez. I think Teofimo Lopez, I ain't gonna lie, either one of them is a big fight. I feel like just with me, my attitude, my charisma, my flamboyantness, what I bring to the table, people hate me, but they're gonna watch me. So I think that boxing need somebody like me and somebody like Teofimo. It's crazy. So both of us, it'll go for a great build up. We both can fight. We both young in our prime, and I think it'll be dope. And there's a storyline behind it. So I think that's a big fight. Me and Devin Haney's also a big fight. We got history together. So these are all big fights that's gonna happen in the near future. We all in our primes, and sooner or later we gotta show who's really the best.
Congratulations again. It's Steve Harris to the BK Arena. So, how did it feel just to have Brooklyn so heavy in your corner tonight?
I knew once I brought the championship back home, like New York was gonna, show up. We had all type of people. I was looking at the crowd like, damn, I didn't even know like it was gonna be like this. It was like people that didn't know would show up, showed up. It was last minute too. Everybody was, saying today I'm getting my ticket, what's going on. There was so many different type of people in the crowd, and it was dope to see that. And I think after today, next time we come back to New York with a better name, it'll be even a bigger event. So I'm climbing slowly but surely. I'm just grateful and thankful for this.
We come to the Toxic Kids program. Tell us about that program and the people in that program and how they've had an influence on you up until this point.
I feel like I'm the living proof of the Cops and Kids program. The program is meant, Pat Roos and Teddy Atlas started it years ago, and it was meant to take a young kid out the street, take them from anything that can be negative, and make them put their time into something positive. I was a kid that I didn't want to be a boxer. I just see Floyd Mayweather talking shit, the Big Show, and I was like, well, that's cool. I came to the gym, I smelled the hand wraps, I see the kids coming in with trophies, I see them going away to tournaments, and it changed my life. So I feel like me coming from that program, it can show the young kid that I come from the same place as you. I had the dirty boxing shoes, the used boxing shoes that the older guys would give me, the stink hand wraps that my hands smell like fungus.
the gloves that was just messed up. I've been through all them emotions, you know, from, you know, Coach Sosa giving me my first pair of new boxing shoes and me just being happy. But more of the story, that program is meant to help a kid push their trajectory of life towards a positive, you know, standpoint of life. I feel like whether it's boxing, whether it's being anything you want to be in life, that program can change anybody's life, and I'm living proof of it. So none of this would be possible without Cop, because like Luther Bella said the other day, I was the kid sneaking in behind, you know, trying to get in the backstage and trying to like see what's going on with the pros. I used to try to steal the pro gloves after the fight, so it's a full circle moment for him.
Hey, Richardson, congratulations on an excellent win. Jay with Sportbox TV official. Just a quick question. So we did see you in the ring with Teofimo Lopez. Can you tell us or detail any of the words that were exchanged between you and him?
You know, he basically congratulated me, and I said, yeah, we gotta make it happen. And you know, he's also signed right here with my manager Keith Conley, so you know, it's ties right there with me and him. So the fight is definitely something that gotta happen. You know, he's already established his name in the boxing world. I'm establishing my name in the boxing world. I'm cementing my name. So it's a fight that gotta happen, and I've been calling his name out right before I got out the ring. My last fight, and this ain't for propaganda, this ain't for promotion. I do believe I'm the best, and I'm ready to compete against anybody in the sport.
Thank you.
Is it time to start putting Winston Hitchens on the pound list?
Oh yeah, no, but he's got pound for pound ability. I think that's for sure. You know, I think Kambosos was the perfect opponent tonight at the perfect venue. You know, when we talked about it, it was a big investment to make. George, rightfully so, is not a cheap opponent, but it was the perfect one for the crowd to come out, and I think the perfect style for Richie to show his quality. And I think the difference tonight was a more assured fighter, a more confident fighter that maybe in the past would have just beat him up for another 6 rounds, and then you saw how he came out in the 7th. Real aggressive, pushed him back, walked him down and beat him up and got the stoppage, and that's the difference, really. Once people see a 6-round domination, they don't want to see another 6-round domination. They want him out of there, and that's what I think Richie's learned, and that's what he did tonight in style.
Africa. Alright, so Malik Hawkins, John Bowser, Gustavo Ramos, Liam Paro, now George Kambosos. Every so-called step up, you make it look like a step back. I know, I say that to you all the time. Everybody wanted to see the final level of Richardson Hitchens. Is this the beginning, or like what can we look forward to?
This is definitely the beginning. Every day I'm perfecting my craft mentally. Every day I'm watching, I'm paying attention to details. I'm watching, I'm seeing what's going on. And like I said, I'm sure of myself now. I do believe that I'm one of the best fighters in the sport of boxing, period. And if I'm not that yet, I'm going to show it. If I'm not that yet, it will come, because I believe in myself and I'm working hard every day. I love boxing. It's something I really love to do. Like I said, I boxed Shakur in the hallway of Boost Fights a few weeks ago, literally. He was in the hallway with 12-ounce gloves boxing until like, we started maybe at like 205 and was done at like 301. And this is like something I love, so this is definitely not my final level. This is like, it's a lot more for me to do out here, and y'all just gotta stay tuned, you know what I'm saying? I'm just getting opportunities.
We've been told we have to wrap up, guys, but we've got one more question. Go.
Keith, this is for you, Brandon. Like Africa said, you do FTO. How realistic is that fight? Just how realistic is it?
It's very realistic. Right after the victory, Eddie and I were in the ring, and we actually said we got to get him a big fight next. We got to go out there and work together to get him a big fight. The 2 most realistic fights are obviously Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. I managed Teofimo as well. He wants to fight. Richie's wanted to fight for a year, so it's just going to come down to, I'd say probably in the next 2 to 4 weeks, Eddie and I are going to sit down together and figure out what we're going to do with Hitchens next. I know Teofimo wants it, so my guess is that would be a fight that likely happens. It's not a fight I want it to really happen because I manage both guys, but I'm not going to hold them back from each other. But again, it's a collective effort. It's myself, it's Hitchens, and it's Eddie, and obviously the rest of the team. But Eddie and I will sit down in the next couple of weeks and figure out what direction we want to take with Richie.
Yeah, and like I said, I just want to thank, Keith Conley, Eddie Hearn for giving me the opportunity to get here, and they changed my life for 2 years, just like that. All I need was an opportunity, and they did their job, and I'm doing my job, and I'm looking forward to a great future with obviously Eddie Hearn, Keith Conley, and hopefully we keep doing great things. And yeah.
Thanks for your support, guys. Thanks for coming tonight. Thank you.